Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. I really am kind of excited to share with you what I have today. It's going to be short, but it was just an aha moment that I had this morning. And so I thought, well, let's share this. You know, I find that oftentimes we share the same experience. You know, we all have an opportunity, in my opinion, to really, lean in to what's going on. When we live and make a decision to live mindfully, things start to show up in our lives that maybe we've missed. Maybe we haven't seen. Maybe it's been half a century of not seeing things. Have you noticed that before? You want to get down to it? Should we talk about all this stuff? Because this is a wee bit of, my secret sauce, shall we say, of things that are helping me to bring my game, a better game for next year. By the way, I think there's a misunderstanding, of what perfectionism is, because I think really trying to be better and trying to do something and bring it to a next level has nothing to do with perfectionism at all. It doesn't. It has to do with the human spirit. We all strive for excellence. We want to do a good job. Nobody ever goes into something and says, hey, let me just slide by and just do a miserable job here just so I can check it off my box and, check it off the list and get it done. Nobody. Maybe if you're just cleaning the house or, wanted to go get some weeds out of the garden or whatever, sure, I get that. And sometimes doing the bare minimum and what have you for certain things is cool. I'll never forget one of the things that saved my bacon. This is years ago when I first started following Fly Lady, and that was just vacuuming the middles. She saved me from lifting furniture and doing all this stuff, lifting everything as you dust it and what, just get it done. Just, swipe it up and do it. It's not a matter of perfect. It's a matter of excellence. That's what that is. And that just saved me. And it was just an aha moment. Well, you can have several aha moments like that throughout your life. And one of these is in the wisdom of commitment. There is wisdom in commitment, isn't there? Jane's here, Martha, Terry, Mimi. So glad you're all here. Ravi Shankar said that which is convenient, you do not call commitment. Isn't that that's intense. I think that's really intense. Mary, hello, Corliss. That which is convenient, you do not call commitment. Because you think about it this way. What do convenience stores sell? You're not going to go running to a convenience store to pick up a head of broccoli, are you? Right? You know that. Hey, Mary. You know that? You know that? I know that. They sell crap, and it's usually overpriced, by the way. They sell overpriced crap. Convenience stores give you convenience foods. And convenience foods, I promise you, will never be whole foods. They'll never be something that you need. They're always going to be something that that are going to tantalize your taste buds, that are going to taste good for the moment, and for the moment will satisfy. Only for a moment, and then it won't. We know this about that. But we also understand that on the other hand, convenience is fabulous, isn't it? I use Amazon. I just got Kleenex. Kleenex, the little squares, that fit underneath your little covers, because I have like 3 of them in the house. I'm fanatical about putting my little square boxes under the covers. Well, I got it on Amazon. It was a good price. And I started doing this. This is hand to God, I did this. How much is it? compared to, say, going to Costco. How much is it? And I was doing that and I was saying, Mark, do you have it? He had a receipt. So we looked at it and I said, well, how much is it? Oh, this one has 120 sheets per box. This one has 85 sheets. This one has 66. And then one of them says it has a total of X amount of sheets, and the other one just tells you what it's in the box. So I sat there on my phone doing math to figure out what the price of all of this was. I'm going to just tell you right now, I'm just telling, this is a little side note on how we can get so derailed by a few cents. I said to Mark, as I was doing this, I said, why am I spending my time on this? He goes, I have absolutely no idea. But I'm telling you can get right into the weeds on that kind of stuff, or you can start taking a broad brush analysis of what's going on. What's convenient when it comes to Kleenex, right? Amazon's convenient. They send it to my house. I'm going to buy that every single time. And it probably is about, never did sit down and figure out the difference in price. But even if it costs me a nickel more a box, I didn't pay for the gas or the time to go get it. I also get Ava Jane's. Ava Jane's has our avocado oil and their sea salt. I'll tell you, their sea salt, we just sent an email for their sea salt. It's the bomb. It's clean and wonderful. Love Ava Jane's. Look at the convenience here. This stuff's coming to my front door. My Misfits box, I get my Misfits every single week. And every single week they manage to mess it up. I got 2 big boxes of pho. Are you familiar with pho? It's a Vietnamese noodle. It's spelled P-H-O, but it's pronounced pho. 2 huge boxes of those. I didn't order that. They sent me dog treats when I didn't order. We didn't even have a dog. So I've been with them for a while. I take these mistakes in stride. They don't charge me for them. And if they send me something that's garbage, I take a picture and send it back to them and say, hey, this is terrible. They take it off my bill, no questions asked. That's convenient. I'm getting organic produce sent to me, and I'm a big customer. I spend anywhere from $40 to $80 a week on their stuff. We eat a ton of vegetables in our house. I'm making big vats of soup and all of that. It's convenient to not have to say, hey, Mark, can you go to the store? Can you go get some more vegetables? We're out. And next month, I'm going to have a juicing month in January. I'm just letting you know, I'm going to start some green juicing in January just to replenish the nourishment tank, because I know the holidays are going to take a little bit of a toll. And boy, will I ramp it up then. Just the 2 of us, but we go through an enormous amount of produce. And I'm grateful for Misfits showing up on my front porch every single week, even though they stick stuff in my box almost every single week that doesn't belong there. Whatever. It's hilarious. But my commitment is to being an athlete. My commitment isn't to convenience. It's to being an athlete. And very often, that's not convenient, right? Not at all. As a matter of fact, it requires me to get out of my comfort zone. It requires me to get up off the couch, to get changed, and to do something different, Well, I should say it doesn't require me to get changed. I'm always dressed in my workout clothes, but, it means put on the shoes. Get out of your Uggs, put on the shoes. But what I know is that my commitment demands, my commitment to, and my goal demand commitment. 100%. They demand it. They demand it. And I feel that when I'm not meeting my commitment, it's because I'm too busy chasing convenience. Anyone do that? Well, it's not convenient right now, so I want this convenience. We're so conditioned culturally to everything needs to be easy. There's a shortcut. There's a hack. There's a this. There's a that. And we think we just haven't made the connection to the magic sauce, to the secret sauce, to the way to get it done. And that's garbage. Because what I found is that our commitments just need to be looked at as, okay, so what can I do? How can I make this a little easier to do? This is why I break up my workouts into 10-minute increments. It gets me up off my butt every hour. It gets me doing something, get the sweaty stuff over with in the first thing in the morning. And then throughout the day, it's convenient to drop a 10-minute workout, arm workout here, a 10-minute shoulder, and chest workout or back. It's usually chest and back, and shoulders are shoulders, biceps, and triceps usually. But you get where I'm going with all of this. We have to be able to mix it up, but that doesn't detour us into a place of saying it's just not easy enough now, so I'm not going to do it. Because that is our cultural prerogative right now, isn't it? With most everything. Everything you see, watch television. It's so fascinating. Watch ads. Look at the ads in on magazines and what have you, and just all those mixed messages. We're supposed to look for and follow only convenient ways, because there's a way to do 21 years of work in just 6 months or just 6 weeks or 72 hours or whatever. Have you noticed that? And I think that when we become aware of that, we can stop this nonsense and we can understand some things just take time. Some things just take a commitment. Some things we just have to grit our teeth and say, you know what, I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to do my best. I'm just gonna. And then when you get into the group, when you get those shoes on, when you start hit the play button and you start to do, then you start to get into the group and you start giving it your all, and you start visualizing and doing as you're pulling those weights up. Yesterday, I increased my weights. I was so surprised at myself. And I thought, okay, that's the consistency of my commitment showing up, that I can lift heavier, which is great because that's how we build muscle. And remember, we're not looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. What we're trying to do is prevent scaropenia, which means that we're going to lose muscle. As we get older, we will. And guess what? You want to hear the other horrible thing about that? When you lose muscle, it gets replaced by fat. So we just become this one big, juicy fat ball. Instead of having a bicep, we've got a fat ball. I don't want to do that. I want to be strong. Remember, I'm going to be 120-year-old spunky old lady. And in order to do that, I have to start now. That's wisdom telling me that if I want to live that long, and if I want to be vivacious and spunky and a contender, then I'm better, do something right now. But I will tell you that the wisdom of understanding that we can have both convenience and commitment in the same breath is that we have to look for the balance. And there is balance there. Like I said, I showed you just what I did with my workouts. I tucked them into where I could. And it just makes that part sticky. It makes it easier to do, and it makes the commitment a little bit simpler. The commitment doesn't go away, but the convenience isn't the be all end all. And that's the sticking place. That's the place where we get all caught up, because we believe that we're somehow entitled to the magic of not having to do a whole lot of effort, not having to sweat it out, not having to lift heavy or do whatever. You know exactly where I'm going with you. So I've tried too hard, and my aha today was, my problem is I've tried to make it all convenient, and it's simply just not. There are times when it is, and there's times when it's not. There's times when just showing up is the thing that needs to happen, and just shut up, and do it. That's it. So look what I've done to make it convenient. I've set up a gym here at home. I bought a bike. I have an app for the bike. I have the weights. I have the bands. I've got a little bench. I've got a yoga mat. I've got all the everything. I've got everything. I mean, there's a couple things I don't have, but so what? I have a world-class gym right next door to my little office here. That makes it convenient. I have honed my routines and my rituals over the years so that I've made lots of these things automatic. And do you remember yesterday? I'm going to pull this up for you. Do you remember yesterday when I shared with you what Brendon Burchard said? It was at the very end. It was in your newsletter. By the way, are you getting our newsletters? Every single day, go to savingdinner.com and you'll get today's notes in tomorrow morning's newsletter. We do that every single day. You get it like at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so here's the thing that Brendon Burchard said, and I think this is part of, what triggered this whole thing. First, it's an intention, then a behavior, then a habit, then a practice, then second nature, then it's simply who you are. And I've looked at my life from that lens, and I have found that my rituals and my routines have made certain things are just simply who I am. It's how I show up. The idea, the thought of not making my bed every day, I can't even fathom how that would be. The thought of not tidying up every day, not even in my peripheral. And the reason I say this is because years ago when I was struggling with little kids, it was like clean or destroyed. Those are the two values of my house. There was no middle ground. There was no tidying up after everything. It was cleaning up a nuclear waste dump. It was just one way or the other. It's because I didn't have routines in place. I didn't have habits in place. I didn't have rituals in place. And as I got older, I started to understand that some self-care's got to get into it. I had the nursing bra moment in 2002 or 3 or whenever that was. And from there, it's only built how much I need to be in part of this. And as I got my Hashimoto's under control, I did that myself of course, I had a good doctor that I worked with. Of course, I was taking, my thyroid medication and all of that. It was bioidentical. I was doing all the things that I needed to do, but I made it my business to learn this stuff. I put it on automatic pilot. It was convenient, not easy, but I was committed to that. The things that I could automate, I did. The things that I couldn't, I went mindfully into. And I believe that that's what our call is today, that we can do as many things as we can and make it as convenient as we possibly can, but understand that commitment calls us to the hard places too. That commitment means that we're going to pick up dirty socks, on the floor. That commitment means that we're going to, make the soup even when we don't want to, that we're going to sweat it out in the gym even when we don't want to, that we're going to show up. But we can create the routines and the rituals that make it second nature. But first we have to go through the intention and the behavior and the habit forming. And we have to go through these processes to get there. And I believe that we shortchange ourselves by shortchanging the journey. We give up too soon. We throw it all out and we say, I just can't do that. And the truth is you can. You just haven't stuck with it. So we understand this then, right? Everything isn't convenient. Everything isn't easy. But it doesn't have to be all hard either. So, I feel like we are to transcend, wisdom calls us to transcend convenience and instead align with commitment and then allow the convenience to come alongside, to come underneath that commitment. Because then it all makes sense, doesn't it? Then it all, then it all clicks into place. So I have 2 things for you. One is to create a schedule that's just right for yourself. I think too often we're looking for some guru. We're all guru seekers. We want to do it just like she does. We all want to follow the influencer, do it exactly. And sometimes these influencers, unwittingly, I don't think they mean to do this, say, oh no, it's got to be done exactly my way or you just aren't doing it at all. This is what the diet industry is about. And my whole thing is like, it's time to check out. It's time to stamp the stamp. It's time to get off the carousel of crazy and say, I'm done with all of that. Because intuitively, You have the wisdom of knowing what's right for you. And I want you to give yourself some credit, you know? You got to give yourself some credit. You do know what's right for you. I'm not going to sit there and fight you on anything. I will fight you if you're eating a bunch of fake, microwavable diet dinners. Boy, will I fight. I'll take you to the mat. Right here, right now, my floor. Be there. Because I don't want to see you ruin your health over garbage like that. We need to feed our souls, put nutrients into our bodies. I will fight you on that. How you do it, that is 100% up to you. How much you're going to eat, if you're listening to your body, you're going to know. Connect with that. That's what it's all about. And if you can conveniently tuck this into your schedule and commit to this, you're going to customize a life that fits you. Not me, not somebody else in a group, not some other guru, not somebody that you saw on Good Morning America or whatever. It's not about that. It's not about what she's doing and emulating her. It's about you figuring out your stuff. You are your own nutritional guru. I can guide you. I can help you. And boy, will I. I'll help you as much as I possibly can. I'm not going to be your doctor. I'm not going to be your guru either. But I am going to tell you that you are so much more powerful than you think. You have so much more wisdom than you know. And if you just start to listen to your body, if you just start to lean into the wisdom that was God-given to you, you can create the exact life that you want to lead. That's it. That's what this is about. Convenience has its place. So does commitment. And the wisdom is understanding how to blend them. The wisdom is figuring out your special need, your special cocktail, your blend. One thing that I have done, and I sincerely hope that you will consider, is doing this thing called piggyback habits. I've talked about them before, but I think this is a really good starting place. And for me, it was a huge aha. This probably started, several years ago for me. But it was when I realized and recognized that I had certain things second naturally done, had gone way beyond intention and behavior and habit forming and practice and just second nature. I don't think about it, I just do, right? Making my bed, making coffee, do those certain things in the morning so I could piggyback on those behaviors. Easy. I call them piggyback habits for good reason, because as soon as you start to do that thing, if you make a decision, I'm going to add this one thing, then that as soon as you start to do that one behavior that you've always done without ever having to think, you're automatically going to do the next thing. So for me, getting up, making that bed, I tidy up our bedroom. I tidy up our bathroom too at the same time if there's any tidying that needs to be done. Sometimes I'll just grab the trash can and go dump the trash too. The fun part is, because I'm so used to doing it, that's become second nature. I'm looking to add another piggyback habit onto that, right? I've already added, when I get up, I'm already in my workout clothes. This is a shirt, my sweaty shirt I'm not wearing right now. I just threw this shirt on and threw a little makeup on, and I'm going to have to, shower all over again, whatever, just because I was running short today in time. But this piggyback stuff is everything. And it's not to overload you. It's to just get you to the place of taking something well-established and adding one thing to it, because it will trigger a thought, and there you go. You're going to be looking at it. And instead of having this enormous checklist, you're just going through it like that, because there it is. So making coffee to me is a trigger. Go empty the dishwasher. Easy. Coming upstairs from working, because my office is here downstairs, I have a stack of stuff that I take with me upstairs so I can have my coffee meditation, journal, and do all my things. I just take it right upstairs with me. You see how these things all work together? Not that I'm perfect, not that I have it, but boy, I've got the big chunks worked out. Thank God. It took me years. And that's why I'm sharing all this thing, because I want you to hear that it doesn't have to be overwhelming and hard. The third thing that I want to say to you is what true perfectionism is all or nothing. And that's why we so often throw the baby out with the bathwater. It doesn't have to be that way. So I want to give you something that that has just made such a difference in my life. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to repeat it because I think it's important. Assess and evaluate without the emotional emoting, okay? Without the big wah, 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 and beating yourself up. It's really easy. Well, I should have, and I didn't, and woe is me, and I'm a failure, and I can never, and this, that, and the other thing. All of that does you no good, because all it does is activate the reticular activating system to say, go get the evidence to support this, right? Because you're telling your brain, you're giving your brain a directive. So instead, my thought is this: say, okay, we have to have an assessment here. 2021 is nearly over. What is 2022 going to look like? Where did I shine? Where did it go just a little bit off the rails? And where do I really need some massive improvement here? Without all the emotion. Because it's at that point where you're able to go through this with the analysis. You're able to be very honest about everything without giving yourself the wet noodle treatment. Do you need that? I know I don't. Try things. Keep trying things. This worked, this didn't. I need to time block a little bit more. Check our savingdinner.com/time to get a time block sheet and see where the hiccups are. I'm wasting my time. Maybe I'm not. All it is you getting into the weeds and saying, you know what? I want 2022 to look a little different. I want to commit to this. I want convenience in that. How do I get all this? How do I put this all together? That's the puzzle that you need to work out for yourself. I'm so passionate, can you tell? I'm so passionate about this stuff because I believe we've made it hard on ourselves simply because we beat ourselves up, simply because we've gotten roped into this idea that it's got to be all this way and we have to follow these people and we've got to look for gurus. You don't. What you need to do is have confidence in yourself. Have confidence in the wisdom that God gave you when he created you in the first place. And have a few tools, a little bit of guidance, and have some aha moments yourself. Because I promise you, especially if you're looking for them, they're going to show up. And boy, they're going to just blow your mind. You're just going to go, that's everything. It's everything. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. This is an important subject to me. And I want to see you shine. I want to see your vibrancy just, boom, exploding next year. 2022 is around the corner. Let's be ready. Pinkies up on that. Anyone with me? I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, of course, always send them in. Promise me you will. Send them into support@savingdinner.com. And if you need anything else, if you have a private question for me or whatever, we have, I do coaching and, our customer service is there to help you out. That's my promise to you. And that's my commitment to you. You're never going to be left high and dry. All right. Peace be with you. I appreciate you. I told you it was going to be a short show and look at it. It's not. I certainly appreciate you though. Thanks again for showing up. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.